Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back inside the Force. Dave Cottingham with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to May 1st is when we're doing this show. We got a couple more days till Star Wars Day.
Yes.
And of course we will do an episode on May the 4th, as we always do, past couple years. Now, I will say this, as we will talk about it more on Wednesday, but man, I feel like Star Wars Day has become like a worldly thing.
It's becoming a legit national holiday. It's getting there. Should take off school. Let's take off work.
Because I don't recall, even when I was in college, when I was really, when episode 1 and all that stuff was coming out, I don't remember May the 4th being like a day.
I don't know if I heard about it until high school, maybe.
Yeah. I know it started in Europe and
in
I think it was as old back as in the 80s. But I don't think it really caught on here much.
Strangely enough.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people would tell me if I'm wrong, but like the movies 1, 2, and 3 came out in May.
Yeah.
I just don't remember May the 4th being like this big. Yeah, because social media wasn't around then, really, and the internet was very young.
I think I first heard it on Twitter, because I started seeing the hashtag. I think,
yes,
or something.
That like very true. Just like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
So it was different.
Anyway,
yeah.
So we'll talk more about that. We've got some good episodes of May the 4th. We kind of take that time to kind of just dive deep into our love for Star Wars and what Star Wars Day means to us. So we'll talk more about that on 7. Probably a little shorter episode, but we'll talk more about that. Hopefully we see, I think I'll mention that too, is because the next night we're going to be watching Civil War.
Oh yeah.
Rogue One, I'm assuming, will be attached to that.
Even if it's like the trailer that's already released.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. No, I think it'll be that.
Same one?
Yeah, I think it'll be the same one. I don't think we're getting anything new, but
yeah, I haven't heard anything about May 4th, but
yeah, I don't know.
Such a good trailer. It's such a great trailer. So see it on the big screen.
What's the possibility we get like a episode 8 teaser? Anything?
No, I don't know.
I doubt it. But
I think they'll wait till year out probably, or around Thanksgiving, just like they did last year probably.
Really?
Last film, yeah. I don't know. That seems like it worked. So
it did work for sure. All right. Let's see. Let's get into let's dive right in. Obviously, into some news.
Well, episode 8 still filming. Actually, they're halfway done. There was a post. I don't know who posted it. Ryan Johnson posted it, but they are halfway through production of episode 8, which seems like that went by fast. But not much. There's been some photos, been kind of paparazzi photos, kind of been released of just the set and a lot of stuff on that will, I guess, be Ahch-To Island, the Jedi Temple Island. I've seen a lot of stuff there. Just released a photo. I think it was a drone or something flying past it, but snapped a photo. Did you see this where it was like the Falcon just sitting there, and they made the Falcon. They made like the Jedi steps right next to it. And I think there was some other little, I don't know, not building, but like a big black like monolith or object, kind of like Star Wars-y kind of object. It was really, I don't know, saw it pretty quickly, and it was kind of shaky footage, so it looked like there was something else there, but nothing. It's all quiet, kind of on the episode 8 front. Daisy Really, I follow her on Instagram, and she's been posting some of her training stuff. She's getting pretty good shape with her Jedi fighting skills, her lightsaber training. She's doing some pretty awesome stuff.
Yes.
So looking good. Looking good. Keep hearing more things about how episode 8 is going to be quite different, which really intrigues me, and how and why it'll be different.
And we talked about that last week on our, which is this big rumor that's going out there. as most of you guys have responded a little bit to what we've talked about, it was a interesting rumor, and it's an interesting thought. And the more I think about it, it just sinks in more. I mean, it's what's unfortunate, and I'll just talk about it briefly. But what's unfortunate is that I don't want to get too invested in that theory.
Yeah,
because obviously nothing will hopefully nothing will be revealed.
Yeah.
Until you see the movie, but just think going a year and a half now, like thinking that, oh my God, so Rey's the incarnated chosen one, but then all of a sudden that theory is like completely trashed when I go into it. I mean, like, I don't know. That's going to be weird. But I'm starting to really, I'm actually starting to really like the thought of it.
It is an interesting thought. I do wish she could have been Luke's daughter. If this is true, hypothetically speaking, I wish she could have been Luke's daughter, because for me that's just cool. I like the fact that it's the Skywalker family is so powerful, and all their kids are powerful, whatever. But and just to think that Luke has a kid is really cool. But yeah, the chosen one angle, it fits. It fits and it answers some questions, and it expands the mythology of the chosen one, and that's one big thing that I've always had questions about, and I've always wanted to know more about the prophecy, more about the chosen one, because it's still not totally clear to me. Ghost of Mortis kind of made it even more confusing in a way. Adds more questions, and the just the general nature of the Force, the Yoda arc in season 6 of Clone Wars, the Lost Missions. There, those I just love knowing more about the Force, as a lot of people do, and I think this rumor would definitely kind of help with this, clear out some mud of the Force, chosen one, prophecy, that kind of stuff.
But don't you think, though, because me thinking again deeper about it is, if they do decide to go down that road, as in Star Wars, the story group, I think you really have to go back and start showing more chosen ones.
Some old stories,
like
the old Republic.
Before Anakin.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like, how there probably wasn't a chosen one at least 1,000 years before Anakin, right?
Yeah.
Because there was no Sith, technically. There was, but there wasn't a threat of a Sith.
The first chosen one.
Correct.
There's no spirits. It's the first chosen one, super powerful in the Force. Then maybe when he or she died, was just like, my spirit will live on.
Yes.
Keep coming back.
Something like that.
That'd be kind of a cool story.
I think you have to, because in essence, in the Clone Wars, we got kind of the backstory somewhat of Darth Bane, right? Which kind of explained the rule of two and all that stuff. And I still think we should get some Darth Bane storyline sometime.
Yeah.
But I think, that whole, they kind of hinted at it, that whole Malachor massacre thing or whatever. It's like they're starting to dive into some history.
Yeah.
Like historical events. I just think you have to go that far now. If you're really doing it like this, if Anakin isn't just the only chosen one, you really have to start. I think you just have to start explaining where did the prophecy come from. Where are they reading this thing from? Like no one. That's the thing too. I watched episode 3 again today. It's like they're like a prophecy misread may have, right? Is what Yoda said.
Where's it written
it's
down?
Like, well, how do you misread it?
Is there a tablet?
Or is it something that just passed down through a holocron, or is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Where is it? How could it be misinterpreted? Why doesn't it say there's just more than one, or is it just as a chosen one?
Yeah.
Because it could be a chosen one, not the chosen one.
Yeah.
Right? Because a chosen one kind of means that there's more. And the thought of a chosen one being able to fall is intriguing, because like you would think a chosen one, would be somebody that's incorruptible, almost, but I like that theory for Star Wars. I really do, because then it's just not about the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's bigger than that then,
and I know some people argue that they wish the Star Wars universe in the movies would not be so confined two Skywalkers and their kids. And so this is an answer to that. I think that this really it is indeed different for Star Wars.
But it's interesting that this is still. I mean, I guess it's still episodic mainly because the originals are in it. The original cast is in it, but
the saga of this chosen one, and if we're really into the next chosen one,
it's the next chosen one. This is the next chosen one.
Yeah,
if it's really the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're so close. It's like it's only been 30 years,
and
then you have another. Well, less than that if she was born before, right?
Yeah.
So like somehow it seems like if this is true, then the universe senses or the force senses,
and then they just births
a chosen one, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Because for 1,000 years, then there was probably not a chosen one, right? Because
somehow I see that's another thing. Like what causes it to get out of balance? Because the Sith were around; they were just hidden,
right?
And I guess they reveal themselves almost like another awakening. I don't know.
But see, and then if the Sith history holds true, prior to Darth Bane, I mean they were always around.
Yeah.
So it was like
tons.
Was there a chosen one, and then he died, and then the chosen one, and then it died? You know what I mean? It's like
that's the thing.
That's so
question.
It's so
it's almost like
big.
They have to do it just so they can answer these questions. I don't know.
Because it'd be one thing if Anakin was the first chosen one.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're talking about keeping, because like 1,000 years when apparently the Jedi won and thought they destroyed the Sith, right? But Darth Bane went in hiding and then started. Well, there was peace, so it wasn't until the balance started coming out where Palpatine or Sidious, whatever, rose to power, and it's like, okay, it's getting out of balance. Chosen one, and then now it's getting out of balance again with Snoke and Kylo, whatever, chosen one. But so if he was the first, it makes sense kind of because it's they feel like it was destroyed and now it's coming back. But like we said in the rumor, according to the rumor, Rey sees all the old chosen ones. So it's like I don't know. He's talking thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic that you're forever. I guess it's destined that you'll have the Sith versus the Jedi, and there will always be Sith, and there will always be Jedi. I guess to keep the balance. I don't know. It's weird.
But you want to talk about echoes to Episode 5?
Yeah.
If Luke is the one that says, "You're my father,"
Yeah.
I'm
not your father.
You're mine,
my father.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
crazy, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Settle down.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Great theory. Actually, I did want to look up someone kind of. Go ahead. Any more news? I was going to look up.
I mean, there's a few things. I mean, kind of speaking with. I guess we can talk about. I mean, there's conversations for both pieces of news, but Rian Johnson, for director of Episode 8, somehow has gotten to have some creative input in a new Star Wars novel coming out, the Bloodline novel, Star Wars Bloodline, the one that's starring Leia Organa. And I'm trying to find when it's going to be released. May 3rd, so this Tuesday, from Penguin Random House. So this book, I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. It's in between 6 and 7. It's kind of about Leia starting, or the Resistance kind of starting, the First Order kind of starting, all this stuff, and written by Claudia Gray. But somehow, for some reason, Rian Johnson has had creative input to this novel. So, which just begs the question, does it have any connection to Episode 8? Why would he want to have creative input in this novel? So, I'm really eager to read this book, as I am all the other Star Wars books, just haven't gotten around to it. But this one in particular, I will be very anxious to read, not just for the history, finally getting some context of this new republic and the Senate and how their government is ran before it was completely wiped out. Finally getting some information about that, but also just to see if it has any connection whatsoever, potentially with Episode 8. And on the cover, also, Darth Vader is like silhouette on the cover. the whole, like a huge silhouette. So maybe some stories there with Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Okay, some responses. I wanted to read some Twitter responses here from our last episode. Let's see. At Got a Peachtree, he mentions, because we talked about the Poe Dameron series. He said, heads up, pretty sure Poe Dameron is ongoing, which is pretty exciting. Makes this book a must read. I agree. But that's good. It's ongoing. I figured it'd just be a limited series, but it looks like it's going to be going, which is weird because the beginning is like right up until Force Awakens. So maybe they'll skip over Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And
I guess they could go backwards, maybe.
they could. Let's see. At NZ Tiger, IZON. Sorry. NZ Tiger. Love the latest podcast. Oh my gosh, that rumor. As a big Star Wars fan, I'm on board.
Hey.
Hashtag Disney has balls.
Yeah.
Very good. He does mention, he says, he goes on to say, the more I think about this rumor, the more it makes sense. For example, why did they point out many times in The Force Awakens that Rey could fix anything and fly anything?
Yeah.
Again, you know, my 6-year-old daughter is actually really getting into Star Wars now, and we've actually watched 1, 2, and 3 in the past week or so. And yes, watching episode 1 again with her is like, man, Anakin knows how to do a ton of stuff.
Some
And Rey
natural abilities. Yeah.
knows how to do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a ton.
Yeah.
On that ship, you know, that Han picks her up on,
Yeah.
knows right away.
Fuses and all that
fuses
stuff,
and
yeah.
everything. Fixing the Falcon.
Yeah, but
You know,
both of them are, they're smart kids. You know, the Force obviously gives them some ability there, but they also were around all that. You know, Rey, you know, she has stories of her scavenged, and there's stories of her finding like flight simulators and all that stuff, and learning about ships and all that stuff. And Anakin worked in Watto's shop, so he was around all that. But they do have that natural ability to just pick it up quickly.
To be a pilot.
To be a pilot, that mindset, whatever the almost to see things before they happen, as Qui-Gon says. You know, it's a Jedi trait.
Yes.
It's a chosen one trait.
It is
perhaps.
chosen one trait.
So
It is.
it's a very interesting connection.
And then at Skate Pharmacy 16 tweeted us, John, he says, just listen to episode 140, and I'm curious, what's your take on these videos? And he tweeted out a video, what if Star Wars episode 1 was good? And I think you might have seen this. It's a guy that's on a green screen, and he talks about episode 1. He basically retells a story, which is weird because it's exactly what we kind of talk about. Not exactly, but you know, about the whole thing about I'm starting to feel like it's an Obi-Wan story.
Yeah.
And that guy says, he's like, what if this story was about Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
And he made some great points in that video. You should see that video.
Yeah.
Just go on our Inside the Force Twitter. He made some great points in there about just about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and how Anakin is the side story. Very similar, again, like the original trilogy, where Vader's kind of the side story. You know, it's really about Luke and Leia and Han, and then of course it's Vader's redemption underneath. And this is episode 1 is about Obi-Wan and Anakin, or Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Padme necessarily, you know, Queen, and then Anakin's underneath. But yeah, the one thing he mentions in there, which I agree with, and you know, I think I can't say it for sure, but I want to say that people may have forgiven George for Jar Jar had Darth Maul survived.
Oh, nice little trade.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because again, watching 1, 2, and 3 again just recently, and then watching 3 today, and he makes a good point, like how, like if so, Maul kills Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan so furious, fights. But just think if Maul would have escaped.
Yeah.
The drive
Oh,
Obi-Wan would have had.
That's so true. Yes.
And then culminating in episode 3.
Yeah.
I mean, make him just like Vader. Because he makes a point, you know, Luke sees Obi-Wan get killed by Vader. And and then he fights in episode 3 and gets his ass kicked basically. Mm-hmm. But then he comes back and and has that training and fights him, and just
that's true.
That should have what happened.
Yeah,
Maul should have survived. Should have been basically what Dooku was doing. Yeah, basically because he could have been. I mean, I know Dooku's kind of hiding the fact that he was a Sith and just he was separating, trying to rally. But I mean, you could have put somebody else in that. You could have put a politician in that role. And still have Maul next to that politician. Yeah. Maybe a Tarkin or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out.
That would be cool.
You know what I mean? Somebody out there that is driving this separatist movement behind the scenes. Doesn't have to be a Sith Lord. But Maul is still there and still elusive.
Grievous, maybe. Taking place in Grievous.
Well, either that or Grievous could have still been. I thought about that too. Grievous could have still been maybe the droid leader, possibly, but then again, I don't think you need a Grievous. Yeah. You need Maul. Yeah. Because Maul could have been on the ship at the beginning, stealing the Chancellor, still making him feel like they still don't know who the Sith Lord is, right? Yeah. Or the, Sidious, the master. But just think about that fight, when Obi-Wan went to Utapau, if that was Maul. Yeah. And man, come on, that would have been ridiculous. And then you had to fight with Vader. Yeah. It's like, what the heck?
That would have been so much better. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So I think I think that's where he went wrong, because think about it. No one would have thought about Jar Jar much if Maul would have came back every time. But that's what I think you had with the original trilogy. You had a constant villain in Vader. Yeah. And if you would have just kept Maul around, that was probably, looking back, after all these years, I got to say that was probably the biggest mistake you made, was killing Maul. Or not even killing Maul. See, he brought him back in a way. Yeah. Because after everybody bitched about it, I guess. But I agree with, so, that video, if everybody goes to our Twitter, did we retweet? I didn't retweet. I should, okay, I'm retweeting it right now. So I retweeted it. It's in our feed. Go check that video out. It's called What If Star Wars Episode 1 Was Good. It's really good. The guy makes really, really good points about Episode 1. And it's a lot, honestly, there's a lot of stuff that we kind of talked about. And I wish I would have watched it again right before this episode, right before we recorded, because I would have remembered some other points I wanted to make on it. But the main one was the Maul surviving. And, but again, I'll go back to say what we said either then, or did we say it then, or did we say it the week or last week? But it was mainly, he should have, and this is really hindsight. This is really only because of the Force Awakens success, but George should have brought some familiarity from the original trilogy into this, either character or the Falcon or something, because it definitely lacked that. And part of me thinks too, again, after I watched episode 3 today, like even the clones when they were flying in the beginning, they had their fighters looked like X-Wings a little bit. But see, to me, it's like, just do the X-Wing. Yeah. Because if they're so old in episode 4, technically they're not even that old. If they're less than 30 years, they're only like 19 years old, because they're not around, or maybe they were around, they just didn't use them in the military sense. I don't know that for sure. But the way that they seem like they keep touting the rebels are using old ships, and you would think they would have come from this or something like that. And I thought of, the cruisers, the big battle, the Star Destroyer cruisers looked like it. But then once it got to the very end, when we saw Vader and on the bridge, it's like they were almost like the Star Destroyers, but not. It's like
they're like just
so at some point you made a new model, like within the night. Why? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, because in episode 7, you're still using TIE fighters. Yeah. You start using X-Wings. Maybe newer versions of it, but
a little better, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
a little big, actually bigger. The pose is, well, if you're using the X-Wing miniatures, pose X-Wing is bigger than
it is a little bit bigger, yeah. And the Star Destroyer is bigger. The Finalizer is like really big, not as big as a Super Star Destroyer, I don't think, like Executor, but it just I don't know. I think, but again, it kind of comes to Andy's point with the interview was new toys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have resold an X-wing.
It's the TIE fighter, but painted differently.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, some familiarity. I mean, he tried to do it. You hinted at it, like he tried to make it almost like an evolutionary thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you saw Maul's ship. The back of it looked like an X-wing. You know, like a TIE Advanced. So it's like, yeah, he should have just did it. You know, and just modified it just a tad. Not, I don't know. That's he obviously wanted to show that there was some evolution in two. And not make it look. He wanted to make it look different.
Just a variety because it's a whole galaxy full of different ships. Like we're full of different cars and trucks and everything. I guess
I guess, and that's
planes and
Anyway.
Okay.
Moving on. Let's see. Some not much on the TV side. No news on Rebels or anything like that. I'm assuming. Filoni's gearing up for that major announcement at Star Wars Celebration Europe here in July. If you guys have been not aware, there is another celebration coming in July in London. If you're around, go. I desperately want to be there, but I still possibly could. I don't know. We'll figure that out here soon. But just some releases coming up. Wanted to make you aware of, like you just said, the next novel, Bloodlines, is actually going to be out this Tuesday, May 3rd. Star Wars Bloodline. Go check that out in your nearest bookstore. Excuse me. I don't think it really. Does it say exactly when it takes place? I don't think it does. Right?
Not exactly, but I'm guessing.
Because Leia looks a little older still.
It's kind of right before the First Order, kind of at least publicly. It's like around all that. So, it sounds like it's going to be a great backstory novel.
Yeah. So go check that out on Tuesday. This Wednesday, as far as comics go, speaking of Poe Dameron number 2 will hit your comic book shelves on May the 4th, which is this Wednesday. That's the only book I think coming out this week. Very good. Number 1 was very good, so go check that out. Now for your, I'm just going to run through these. May the 4th has got, of course, some major deals coming out. If you go to StarWars.com, there is a whole list of them. Of course, I'm going to share it on our Facebook page. But just to run down a few of them, the Sphero that sells the BB-8, they're selling it for, I think the retail's at $150. They're selling it for $129.99. That actually from April 30th, which is now, through May 8th, you can do that. For you parents out there that have kids that like mine that love Build-A-Bear, they're doing a huge promotion. You can buy one, get the next one for $10, the Star Wars ones. My daughter got a Rey Build-A-Bear. Cool. She wants the Kylo Ren one, so might go back and get that. Hot Wheels is getting buy one, get one 40% off. GameStop, they're doing some stuff. Come to GameStop, you get an exclusive Poe Dameron number 1 variant. So they got 20% off stuff. Toys R Us, obviously they got Walmart. They've got 20% off. $20. They got $20 Lego sets, the character ones. Target, $10 gift card when you spend $50 on Star Wars items online. Target.com. Her Universe has got some deals. Kohl's got 20% off. It's just all kinds of. There's some good ones here. What is it? Anovos, which is I think the costume thing. They got 15% off Star Wars collections. Best Buy's got Star Wars licensed Xbox One controllers.
Ooh.
$20 off those from May the 1st through the 2nd. Or I'm sorry, May the 1st through the 7th. Let's see. If you want your very own Star Wars cornhole set, Victory Tailgate, they've got 20% off.
I would like that. That's awesome. I would love that.
Stormtrooper Vader.
Actually, might as well just build and make my own.
I know, right? Those are pretty cool, though. Yeah. Fatheads got 35% off. Star Wars Fatheads. Wow, that's a great deal. Dang. That's from May the 4th through the 10th. Man, it is all just deals after deals. So go to StarWars.com. Now I know also I think iTunes or not iTunes. Yeah, I think something to digital something. Games, all games are like mobile games, and they're all like discounted off Xbox, and
EA's also giving out some stuff. Electronic Arts, and they do Battlefront, they do The Old Republic and Galaxy of Heroes. Those 3 games, there'll be some special prizes and little just special awards if you play throughout kind of this week. And on May 4th itself, like Battlefront is giving out some extra credits, some extra challenges and star cards, extra maps and games, stuff like that on May 4th. Pretty much starts on May 4th. The Old Republic game has some similar things, like some weapons and characters and droids that you can unlock, and some trials and double XP throughout this whole week, and some throughout even the month. Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game, double XP, crystal drops, some more crystals on any purchases. That's kind of throughout this week and on May 4th only. Some of those, so quite a few things happen. So I could use some extra credits in Battlefront.
Yes. That new the new Lego series, the Freemaker Adventures, premieres June 20th on Disney XD. So check that out.
Some other Legos, the short Legos. Remember the Poe one that was released back? There's a few more coming out. Okay. Actually, you can already watch the 3 of them. There's one about, because the first one was about Poe Dameron. It was called Poe to the Rescue when he was saving Akbar on a Star Destroyer. So the shorts number 2 of the Lego thing is called The Trouble with Rathtars, which is about Han Solo and Chewbacca. Actually getting the Rathtars and trying to meet Balatik, the pirate, to give it to him, and something happens with the First Order, which I like. This is all canon.
It's all canon.
So I'm gonna watch it because this looks incredible. There are a lot of them about Han. The 3rd one is about Han. It's called Hunting for Han, where they're at Maz's cantina, and Balatik is there, and I guess the Guavian Death Gang is also probably with them. But some really cool, and again about the Rathtars.
Wait, so where can you watch this at?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at a link right now from on this website, but you can go to
Disney XD's app probably.
They're it's off. I think you can go to YouTube and watch these. Let me give me a few seconds while this is loading. Go to, where is there Star Wars? Well, if I can find the channel that this is on. Is this Toys R Us, really? Toys R Us's YouTube channel?
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Might be.
So go to Toys R Us's YouTube channel, because it's Lego, so they're toys and I guess all that stuff. You can at least watch them there. I'm sure you can find them on Star Wars' website probably. The first short, Poe to the Rescue. The second one, Trouble with Rathtars. The 3rd one, Hunting for Han. And the 4th one that was also released a few days ago. This one is about Rey. It's about Rey and her getting into kind of a crazy thing with Unkar Plot. Let me see. Am I saying that right? I always forget.
Unkar
Plut. So like on Jakku, Rey is scavenging Star Destroyers and I guess finds something, and then Unkar Plot's trying to steal something from Rey. So that's, again, some awesome backstory that we have to watch. So it's just under 10 minutes for each of them. So if you have the time,
that's weird. It's on Toys R Us.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can find them other places too. But Toys R Us,
I see them now. Yeah, short 1, short 2, short 3, short 4.
I love the Poe ones, so I'm definitely going to watch these tonight.
Yeah.
Oops. Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. What else? Let's see. I think that might be all the news and everything that's happening. Of course,
some stuff about Rogue One. Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah.
Running his mouth. But I mean, I'm sure.
I'm not sure he was supposed to say that.
Probably not.
Because I don't think he cares either. But
I mean, it was pretty much rumored that. So, okay, if you're not familiar, if you haven't heard by now, Mads Mikkelsen was on an interview where he let slip that he plays Felicity Jones's Jen Ursa, her father. He plays her father. So, he doesn't say anything about like being a scientist or anything like that. So that part's still technically rumor, but it is official now that he does play her father, which I'm sure he is playing the scientist that develops the plans for the Death Star. So it was all rumor, but he confirmed it. You know. Probably was not supposed to do that, although he was also the one, which I forgot, a while back, he let slip his character's name, Galen. So Galen, Jen Ursa's father.
Which everybody's starting to freak out whether or not it was Galen, like Merrick, or anything like that, connected to.
Right. But I like it. Mads Mikkelsen, he's good. I'm excited to see him.
He is good.
As this. It's kind of like not really a villain, I guess. Maybe if the rumor is true, then he's a villain turned good guy.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention, too, that you can go to Star Wars Force for Change has a new contest where you can meet and celebrate at Celebration with Mark Hamill. So go to let's see. Doesn't give me
Omaze.
I guess it's Omaze. I'm trying to get to the. I don't know why the link's not on here. That's working, but on StarWars.com, it's got the video where Mark explains the Force for Change thing. So. Here's a link to the Force for Change. Here we go. ForceForChange.com is the website. So the latest one, is show your. Where's it at? Sorry. Yeah, okay. The prize for this: to win a trip to London, where they will receive 2 tickets to attend Star Wars Celebration, and will also get to meet the Jedi himself. So go to. Through crowdrise.com/Force for Change. Also, this is not an Omaze.
Oh,
it's called CrowdRise. So CrowdRise, crowd just like it is, rise, RISE, crowdrise.com/Force for Change. It says raise money. It says raise money for good causes. We'll double your efforts. So donations collected through the campaign will be matched by Star Wars Force for Change up to $1 million. Campaign total, including match funds right now, is $1.9 million. So donate to that. So it looks like it's just donate and enter so you can enter a chance to win. Unlike Omaze, you don't buy things or merchandise and stuff like that. So it's just strictly donation by donation. That's weird because the Omaze thing is, I thought it was usually pretty cool. I've gotten like 2 shirts off of there. You know? I usually get the shirts, but I'll just wear my BB-8 one I got this weekend. So, but yeah, like and you basically donate to 4 different charities. You got Make-A-Wish, American Red Cross, the UNICEF, and the Boys and Girls Club. 1.7 of that million has been Make-A-Wish.
Very good.
Such a good cause, Make-A-Wish. So go to that. Go check that out, Force for Change. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention before we sign off in this thing is I'm trying to get it done. But on May the 4th, we actually have, as in the 21 Network, we've got a big announcement to make. And since this podcast, I feel like is the most listeners and possibly the most popular, probably the most popular on the network in a way because of all you Star Wars fans out there. We do have a big announcement on May the 4th. Hopefully, I get the video. It's going to be video announced, though. We're going to tweet it out, or we'll share it and try to get it out there to everybody on our YouTube channel and somewhat in all media outlets. But a little bit of an announcement that we want to make coming this summer to the network. Trust me, Nothing is happening with this show. You can't get rid of me and Casey.
Well, we'll be here.
We'll be here. But some cool stuff coming on the network here. And we're going to try to announce a little bit of that this week. So, and also more details to come real fast before I forget, though. But Casey and I, this show, we have been nominated for a Parsec Award.
Yes.
The annual podcast awards, the Parsec Awards, which forgive me, but we had no idea they existed. And I think they're very young.
Yeah.
But they are the award ceremony happens at Dragon Con.
Yes, that's a pretty big deal.
In late August, early September. It's usually around Memorial Day weekend. Or I'm sorry, Labor Day weekend. And all I know that is because my buddy Charles at work, he always goes every year. But Dragon Con's a big, big con down in Atlanta. We're thrilled. We're submitting our, it's different from the Star Wars Podcast Awards we're just part of, because this one is actually judged. It's not fan based. Mm-hmm. So we have to, we accepted our nomination. It was the first step. Now we have to send them a sample of the show, as well as what category we want to compete in. Mm-hmm. And then they have judges that will judge. And I think I have to make sure. I don't know if there's a cut and then the announcements, or we're just in it and we might have to actually go and see if we win. But that would be cool. So we appreciate it. We'll keep you up to date on that, and whether or not you can vote, because I don't think you can, but we'll let you know if you can, because if you can, then that'd be helpful.
Yeah. If you want to tell us what your favorite episode is.
Yes, that's going to be very tough to pick. We kind of thought the Force Awakens review, or maybe the trailer reveal.
Yeah, some of those big news moments.
I kind of want to go back to listen to the May the 4th ones, because I think we kind of open up a lot about our love for Star Wars.
Yeah,
so maybe something like that.
We did some on like the anniversary of Episode 4.
Yes,
talk about that. Got some interviews from other guys, I think, for some of those other episodes, like other people's opinions about how they feel about Star Wars.
The 100th episode we had a lot of interviews and stuff on there from the guys. So anyway, or maybe we send in our Tom Kane interview or something like that, or David Collins,
Snap
Wexley, aka Snap Wexley. That's still in the front of our episodes. I got to keep that there. That's awesome. Anyway, all right. So let's. What else we got? Anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Before we close out, let's get into some, little brief canon stuff here. You got the first thing.
So, from me, in the book Ultimate Star Wars, which is ever expanding now, they'll have to keep adding.
There's going to be a new edition here soon, I'm sure.
Gosh, you got to do like a monthly thing now, probably with all the stuff we're getting. So now I'm going to be quick profile of characters and creatures section of this book, and this is actually a creature, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's got a crazy Star Wars name, Kadu, or it could be Kadu, but I'm going to say Kadu. I'm sticking with that. Kaadu. This is the creature that the Gungans ride on in Episode 1, and it's also featured in the Clone Wars. Kind of looks like somewhat of a Gungan. I wonder if it actually lives in Gungan City or not. Homeworld Naboo, it's 2 meters, 7 feet tall. Oh, sorry, it lives in the swamps. It says right here. I'm an idiot. Lives in the swamps. They're 2-legged Reptavians, indigenous to Naboo. So there's swift and agile. They have I didn't know this. They have sharp hearing, keen sense of smell. They can breathe underwater for extended periods of time, but they can't live underwater like the Gungans can. Although I don't even know if Gungans can breathe underwater. Maybe they can. I assume they can, but maybe not. Gungans have used these have domesticated the Kadu as steeds to travel throughout the swamps and forests. So they use them so much that the Gungan Grand Army uses them basically to mount their patrols. But some army they had, I don't know what the heck they were making an army for, because who are they going to stop? They have hardly any weapons.
Yeah,
like the whole thing in Episode 1, it's like their whole purpose of the army was to just be a distraction. If you notice that, like in that scene when Padme says, basically she tells them, you're just here to distract and pull them out of the city. I don't care if you live or die. You can lose as long as you pull them out of the city. you're doing your job. That's basically what she told him.
Yeah.
If you want to dissect it. So poor Gungans,
And Boss Nass is
Boss
saying,
Nass. He don't care.
we're ready to do our part.
Yeah, 2 seconds ago you were hating us, but now I say a few words and you shake your head and spit comes out and we're friends. So whatever. All right, that's the K-Do. They have I guess they're decorated with giant feathers. I didn't see that. They have giant feathers on their back. I thought that was a tail, but that's just huge feathers.
I'll go ahead and continue because I've got in absolutely everything you need to know. I need to what I'll do is I'll actually see if I can start tying into you a little bit because this expands a little bit more on the facts. But Captain Tarples, who is riding that, I think he was riding that canoe there. Yeah. Decorates his canoe, and this one is called Swamp Toe, with huge feathers. It has won as race trophies.
Oh, so they race them.
Yeah. And that's what he won, just a feather. And this is true here, strange but true. Canoe are reptavians. They're part reptile, part bird. Is that what you just said?
Well, I don't know, part bird.
Oh.
But I guess reptiles are, I don't know.
But these duck-billed creatures have no wings, but long legs and sleek hides to help them move swiftly on land and in water. And 100 maximum number of canoe in a flock. Always single gender.
What? Life finds a way, I guess.
Yeah. So a little bit more on the canoe there for Kadu, is that what were you saying?
I'm saying Kadu.
I
like Kadu. I like that.
Kadu. All right, everybody. That'll do it for us here on Inside the Force. Again, we will be back just in 3 or 4 short days when we talk about Star Wars Day and what happened on Star Wars Day. Are you going to be wearing anything Star Wars on Star Wars Day?
I actually will be allowed to. This last month of school year, we have to have we can do themed color. Every day is a themed kind of shirt. So Wednesday's a brown shirt day. So I do have a brown Star Wars T-shirt that I will throw on.
I will be announcing at my Monday morning meeting tomorrow morning that they need to wear Star Wars.
First order of business.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, it's Cody's first week. It's he's
it is.
It's first week.
He will be in there and be like, Cody, Star Wars Wednesday, Star Wars Day.
It's great.
You got to wear Star Wars shirts. Anybody not will report directly to me.
We will talk only in Star Wars quotes all day.
All day. Yeah, all day. And of course, and also we'll repeat it again on that day, but please go to our YouTube channel, our 21 Productions YouTube channel. There's a Star Wars fan film playlist there. It's got all of our fan films and a couple of there for our May the 4th ones that we did over the past couple of years. So go check those out, including our latest one, Bounty, that we did about a year ago. I still want to do a sequel to that one.
Yeah, we got to do something else.
We got to do some other stuff. All right, guys. Have a great week. Have a great Star Wars Day. We will wrap up Star Wars Day on our next show. And be back here early in the week. So, for Case Cooley,
you're so lonely, so afraid to leave. At night, desperate to sleep, you imagine an ocean. I see it. I see the island. And Han Solo. You feel like he's the father you never had. He would have disappointed you. Good scene.
Wow, yeah.
Get out of my head.
At first I was like, what is that from? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's recent.
It is recent.
It's not the masked Kylo Ren, otherwise I would have talked like this. But no.
Yeah.
That's cool because he basically sees the Jedi Temple Island.
He does.
Right? So that's,
she's through her eyes, right? Because she's seen it.
Yeah. She's been imagining this, I guess.
Or she's been there.
So many questions.
I think she's been there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, no, she couldn't have been there because Luke had never been there.
She's just the Force just telling her.
I think so.
The Force is just telling her where he is.
Yeah. Dang it.
Come on, man.
Because she's the chosen one.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. We're at Inside the Force on Twitter, InsideTheForce.com on the website. Go there to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio. We appreciate everybody following us and tweeting us and talking to us, interacting. Send us your questions. Of course, we haven't said it in a while, but use the hashtag use the hashtag ITF question if you've got something for us to talk about on Twitter. We'll check that out and talk about that. All right. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
Who cares?
who cares? He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave, and may the force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.